Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive. This time, we're tackling something massive. You want to know how, platform revolutions are going to change the world? You even send us a whole bunch of articles and notes on it. So buckle up. We're going deep into Chapter 12 tomorrow from the book Platform Revolution. It's like a wild ride through industries about to be completely flipped on their heads. Everything from education to energy, nothing is safe.
Yeah, and you know what's really interesting about this book? It doesn't just tell you what's changing. It explains why. It lays out which industries are most ripe for a platform takeover and, more importantly, why some are holding out, at least for now.
Right, it's like self-driving cars giving away 40-cent light bulbs, the potential death of the traditional university. Get ready for some serious aha moments, because this is going to blow your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. The authors start by laying out four characteristics that make an industry ripe for a platform takeover. The first one is being information intensive. Media and telecom are obvious examples. The speed at which content is created. And software is developed these days. It's insane. Platforms thrive in this environment.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, adapt or die. Think about the music industry. Remember record labels? They used to be the gatekeepers, controlling who got heard and who didn't. Then came Spotify, a platform that connected artists directly to listeners. Bypassing those gatekeepers entirely, talk about disruption.
Total disruption. And that brings us to the second characteristic, non-scalable gatekeepers, like those record labels we were just talking about. Or think about retail buyers. They used to decide what clothes ended up in stores.
Right.
Platforms like Etsy and Amazon cut them out, connecting producers and consumers directly.
Yeah, it's like suddenly you can shop in a global marketplace from your couch. It empowers both creators and customers. Creators get access to a global audience. Customers get more choices and better prices.
Yeah, exactly. The third characteristic that makes an industry vulnerable is being highly fragmented. Think about all the time and effort it used to take to find a good restaurant, or book a vacation rental, or hail a cab. Platforms like Yelp, Airbnb, and Uber, they've completely streamlined those processes.
Oh, it's amazing. It's like you've got a personal concierge for everything.
It really is. And finally, industries with information asymmetry. They're prime targets for disruption. Used car salesmen used to hold all the cards because they had the information and you didn't. But platforms like Carfax leveled the playing field.
It's so true. Knowledge is power, right? But what happens when everyone has access to that knowledge? That's the power of platforms.
Yeah.
They democratize information, empowering consumers to make better decisions.
Thinking about your world out there listening, are there any industries you're familiar with that have these characteristics, ones that might be ripe for a platform revolution?
I mean, imagine you're a talented chef, but you've been stuck working in the same restaurant kitchen for years. Platforms like DoorDash or Uber Eats, they could give you the opportunity to start your own virtual restaurant, become your own boss and reach customers directly. Or maybe you're a skilled artisan, struggling to get your work into those expensive galleries. Platforms like Etsy, they could connect you with a global market of buyers.
It's not just about convenience. It's about shifting the balance of power, right? Giving individuals and small businesses more control over their destinies.
That's where it gets really exciting and maybe a little scary, too, because not all industries are going to embrace this change with open arms.
Right. The book talks about certain holdouts, industries that are resisting the platform ways, at least for now. One reason is heavy regulation. Industries like banking, healthcare, and education, they have a ton of rules, and those rules often favor the established players. It's tough for startups to break in.
Yeah, that's true. But even in those heavily regulated industries, we're seeing some platforms pushing the boundaries. Think about telehealth. Platforms like Teladoc and MD Live, they're making it easier to see a doctor remotely, even if the regulations haven't fully caught up.
Yeah, it's definitely happening. Then there are industries with high failure costs. You're right to be a little wary of trusting a platform with your life savings. Or a major medical procedure. A bad loan is way worse than a bad movie recommendation.
Totally.
Right.
Oh, yeah. But technology is evolving rapidly. What if platforms like ZocDoc, which helps patients find and book appointments, started using data to match patients with the best doctors for their specific needs? Or platforms like Betterment that are using algorithms to personalize investment strategies.
That's interesting. Those are intriguing possibilities. But technology has to earn our trust, right? Especially when the stakes are so high.
Absolutely. And then you've got the resource-intensive industries, things like mining, oil, and agriculture. They still rely on physical stuff. Right. But even those industries, they're becoming more data-driven. Think about precision agriculture. where sensors and drones are collecting data on soil conditions and crop health, even weather patterns. All that information is being fed into platforms. Platforms that help farmers make better decisions, optimize yields, and reduce waste.
Wow. So even those seemingly undisruptible industries, they're starting to feel the platform tremors. It's like a slow-motion earthquake. That's reshaping the entire landscape.
It really is.
It's incredible.
It is a fascinating thought, isn't it? These holdouts might not be able to hold out forever. The question is, what happens when the platform revolution comes knocking on their doors?
Yeah, that's the big question. All right, so ready to have your mind blown? Now that we've kind of laid the groundwork, let's get specific. Our source takes us on a deep dive into a few industries where platforms are just poised to make the biggest splash. And first up, it's one that's near and dear to a lot of us: education.
Yeah, education. I mean, it's no secret. The traditional education system is struggling, right?
Right. It's expensive. It's often out of touch. Out of touch with the needs of, like, the modern workforce. And, let's be honest, it leaves a lot of people behind.
Yeah, it does.
But platforms have the potential to change all that.
It's exciting. We've all heard about MOOCs, massive open online courses, with big-name universities like Stanford and Harvard putting their courses online. Imagine a world where anyone, anywhere with an internet connection could access a world-class education for a fraction of the cost of a traditional degree.
It's really amazing when you think about it. But it's not just about, like, replicating the existing system, right?
Right.
Platforms could completely reimagine what education looks like. The source talks about unbundling education.
Unbundling.
Maybe you don't need a 4-year degree. Maybe you just need specific skills to level up in your career.
Totally. Like, if you want to learn a new language, you don't need to enroll in a university program. You could use an app like Duolingo.
And learn at your own pace.
Yeah.
On your own time. Or if you're trying to boost your coding skills. Platforms like Codecademy or Khan Academy, they offer amazing resources, often for free.
Yeah, it's incredible. And then think about personalized learning. Imagine your kid is struggling with math in school. Instead of falling behind, they could use a platform with an AI tutor. An AI tutor that adapts to their learning style and provides customized instruction.
Wow.
It's like having a personal tutor, available 24/7.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Okay, but here's where it gets really wild. The source talks about this thing called the Minerva Project, which is basically trying to reinvent the entire college experience.
The entire college experience.
Yeah. Students take online seminars with professors from all over the world, and they live in a different global city each semester. It's like a liberal arts degree on steroids, totally rethinking the idea of a campus. Yeah, it's fascinating. It's a radical experiment, and it raises a big question. Could platforms like this actually make traditional universities obsolete? It's a scary thought for some people, but it's definitely a sign of how much disruption is on the horizon.
Absolutely. From education to something that honestly affects all of us. Healthcare. We've got on-demand doctors now with apps like Medicast, but that feels like just scratching the surface.
Yeah, I think so too. The real revolution is in prevention. Imagine a world where wearable devices and data analysis help us manage chronic conditions, manage them before they become major problems.
Right.
We could have platforms dedicated to diabetes management, heart health, mental wellness. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
It's incredible. And not only could this improve people's lives, but think about the potential cost savings. Chronic diseases are a huge drain on the healthcare system. If platforms can help people stay healthier longer, we could save billions, maybe even trillions of dollars in healthcare costs.
Oh, absolutely. The source highlights Apple's Health Kit as an early example and allows all your health and fitness apps to talk to each other, so it creates a more holistic picture of your well-being. They're even partnering with the Mayo Clinic to explore ways to share this data securely with doctors.
So it's like having a personal health dashboard that helps you track everything: your sleep, your activity levels, your blood sugar, even your mood.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And if it can help you catch potential problems early, it could be a game changer.
Totally. From managing our health to managing our planet. Energy is another area that's ripe for disruption. We all know we need to use energy more efficiently. Yeah. And platforms could be the key to making that happen.
For sure. The source talks about a shift from a one-way energy grid to a multi-directional platform. Instead of just being passive consumers of energy, imagine we become producers too, with solar panels on our roofs, wind turbines in our backyards, batteries in our garages.
It's a really cool idea. Tesla's Gigafactory, which is producing batteries on a massive scale. That's a huge step in that direction.
That's awesome.
And then there's the potential for energy transactions. people buying and selling energy from each other, creating a more decentralized and resilient energy system.
I like that. California and New York are already experimenting with platforms that allow people to do that. You could have a whole ecosystem of energy producers and consumers, all connected through a platform that manages the flow of energy based on real-time supply and demand.
It's amazing to think about. Of course, this raises questions about the role of those traditional utility companies.
Yeah.
Will they embrace this change, or will they try to resist it?
Yeah, good question.
It's a power struggle. A power struggle that will have huge implications for the future of energy.
Okay. From powering our homes to managing our finances. Money itself was an early form of platform, right?
Right.
But now we're seeing digital platforms completely revolutionize the way we bank and invest and even spend money.
Yeah, it's changing everything. Platforms like PayPal and Square have already changed the game, making it easier than ever to send and receive money, even across borders. And they're enabling new types of businesses and transactions that were impossible before.
Think about those little card readers you see everywhere now. You can swipe your credit card at a farmer's market, buy a handmade necklace from a street vendor, even donate to a charity right on the spot.
It's crazy how much things have changed. And then there's the power of transaction data. The source talks about MasterCard using data to predict your next purchase.
Whoa.
It sounds a little creepy.
Yeah.
But it also opens up possibilities. Possibilities for personalized recommendations and more targeted financial products.
So it's like having a financial advisor who knows your spending habits better than you do.
Right.
And speaking of advisors, platforms like Betterment and Wealthfront, they're using algorithms to create personalized investment portfolios, making investing more accessible and less intimidating for everyday people.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about peer-to-peer lending platforms like Lending Club. They're cutting out the banks and connecting borrowers and lenders directly, often at lower interest rates.
That's awesome. So we've got education, healthcare, energy, finance, all being transformed by platforms. But the source goes even further, talking about something called the Internet of Things. It's not just about connecting people anymore. It's about connecting everything.
Yeah, the Internet of Things. It's a mind-boggling concept. We're talking about trillions of dollars in potential economic activity as everyday objects become part of a vast, interconnected network.
It's wild. The source uses the humble light bulb as an example. In a world of connected devices, a light bulb could be so much more than just a source of light.
Yeah. It could be a hub for your home security system, a sensor for your energy usage, even a reminder to take your medication. We're talking about a world where a 40-cent light bulb becomes a gateway to a whole ecosystem of services and data.
It's like a portal to a whole new world. It's crazy. The source even suggests that companies might start giving away light bulbs for free.
For free?
Yeah, because the real value lies in the data they collect and the services they enable. Think about that. Giving away a physical product because the platform it connects to is so valuable.
That's interesting. It makes you look around your house and wonder what other everyday objects are about to become smart and connected.
Right.
Your refrigerator, your coffee maker, your thermostat, your car, all generating data, all part of this massive network.
It's kind of overwhelming to think about.
It is a little bit, yeah.
It's exciting, but it's also a little scary.
Yeah, I agree.
To think that every object in our lives could be generating data, feeding into platforms that we may not even be aware of.
The source quotes economist Jeremy Rifkin. He describes a future with 100 trillion sensors constantly collecting data and feeding it into platforms.
100 trillion, that's insane.
It's mind-blowing. It's a future of unimaginable possibilities, but it also raises some serious questions.
Yeah, for sure. Because with all this interconnectedness comes a whole new set of challenges. We're talking about privacy concerns, security risks, the potential for monopolies, even the possibility of these platforms being used for surveillance or control.
All very valid concerns. And what about the economic implications? As platforms become more powerful, will they create more opportunities? Or will they concentrate wealth and power in the hands of just a few?
It's the age-old question, right?
It is. These are questions we need to start grappling with now, before it's too late.
I don't know about you, but it feels like we're on the edge of this, like uncharted territory, so much amazing potential, but also like some serious risks. It's easy to get all caught up in the cool new gadgets, all the new services, but we can't forget about the potential downsides of this platform revolution.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It reminds me of something the source said about the Industrial Revolution, which, completely transformed society, right? It took like generations to adapt to those changes, to figure out new ways of working and living, new ways of governing. It makes you wonder, are we facing like a similar period of adjustment as platforms reshape our world?
That's a good question. And a little scary, honestly. We're not just talking about new jobs, new industries. It's about like fundamental shifts in power dynamics, economic models, even social structures.
Exactly.
That's a lot to wrap your head around.
It really is. One of the biggest challenges, I think, is going to be ensuring that this revolution benefits everyone, not just a select few. I mean, if we're not careful, platforms could end up making existing inequalities even worse, creating a world where the rich just get richer and the rest of us are left behind. So what can we do?
Well, the source emphasizes we can't just sit back and watch this happen, right?
Right.
We have to be active participants. We have to be shaping this revolution in a way that benefits humanity as a whole.
I like that. Be active participants.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? Well, for starters, it means asking tough questions about privacy, security, and ownership of data. It means demanding transparency from these platforms and holding them accountable for their impact on society.
I think that's really important.
Yeah, and we also need to think about how we prepare for the future of work. I mean, as automation and AI become more sophisticated, many traditional jobs are going to disappear.
That's true.
We need to start investing in education and training programs now to give people the skills they'll need to thrive in this new economy.
Yeah, we've got to be proactive.
We do.
Yeah.
And we need to have a serious conversation about social safety nets. Because if platforms are going to disrupt entire industries and displace millions of workers, we need to have systems in place to support those who are left behind.
That's a really good point.
Things like universal basic income, retraining programs, affordable health care, they're all going to become even more essential.
So it's not just about geeking out over cool new technology. It's about recognizing the larger implications of this platform revolution and working together to make sure it leads to a better future for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I keep coming back to one question, this one final thought-provoking question. As platforms become increasingly powerful, gathering more and more data, influencing more and more aspects of our lives, who gets to set the rules? Who will be the referees in this new digital landscape?
It's a good question. Will it be governments, tech companies, or will it be us, the users, the citizens, the people whose lives are actually being shaped by these platforms?
That's the ultimate question, the question we all need to be asking ourselves as we navigate this uncharted territory.
It's definitely something to think about.
You know, the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create. And this platform revolution, it's a reminder, a powerful reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping that future.
Well said. So that wraps up our deep dive into the world of platform revolutions. We hope you found it insightful, thought-provoking, maybe even a little bit inspiring. Keep those questions coming. Keep those brains buzzing. And we'll be back next time with another deep dive into a whole new topic. Until then, stay curious,